Hey, Jeffrey Pepper Rogers back with another episode of Guitar Sessions. And what I just played, is a little piece of Joni Mitchell's classic song, Just Like This Train, from her album Court and Spark. So just this week, Joni Mitchell made a dramatic, emotional return to the stage for her first full-length set in more than 20 years. After coming back from a brain aneurysm in 2015. So she was up on stage at the Newport Folk Festival with Brandi Carlile, sang a bunch of songs, and picked up her guitar and she played an instrumental version of Just Like This Train. So back in 1996, I actually met up with Joni Mitchell for an extended interview for Acoustic Guitar magazine that resulted in this story, which was really the first major examinations of her guitar style and her pioneering use of alternate tunings. And that is an interview, a story that has had a long life. It appeared in a collection of interviews of mine called Rock Troubadours. And then some years later, my article appeared as the foreword to this book, the Joni Mitchell Complete So Far songbook, gorgeous hardcover book. So that was a real honor to have my work introduce this collection, which had been in the works for literally decades. More recently, I also created a video and lesson for acoustic guitar on her guitar style, which appears in a brand new book called Play Guitar Like the Great Singer-Songwriters. So I have done, through all these projects, a bunch of exploring of her guitar style and trying to wrap my head around all that. This seemed like a great occasion to look back at Just Like This Train, which actually appeared, was transcribed in that issue of Acoustic Guitar back in 1996. And so I'm going to cover the tuning and the basics of the guitar part. So over on Patreon, you can download the complete transcription of that song, and on my website you can find details about all these Joni-related projects. So one of the keys just about all of her music is that her songwriting is driven by ever-changing tunings. Constantly retuning, finding new tunings, and finding new song ideas as a result. So the tuning for Just Like This Train is as follows. So get ready to retune your guitar. On the bottom, on the 6th string, we got a C, and then a G on the 5th string, so that's dropping a step. The 4th string is staying the same at D. 3rd string at F, so dropping that a step. 2nd string, C, so that is going up a half step. And 1st string is an E, so again going across I got C, G, D, F, C, E. So Joni Mitchell herself has a kind of a shorthand for remembering these tunings and her system, and it's based on the intervals between strings. So the first thing you would say is C, which is the lowest note, the note on the 6th string, and then 7, which means if I play the 7th fret on the 6th string, I get the note for the 5th string. So there that is, and then the next number is 7 again. So 7th fret on the 5th string is the open 4th string. Next one is 3. And then so 3 on the 4th string equals the open 3rd string. 7 on the 3rd string is the open 2nd string. And 4 on the 2nd string is the open 1st string. So by her system, you would call this tuning C7-7-3-7-4. And if you look at the Joni Mitchell Complete Songbook, you can see all the songs are represented by that system. So the notes of this tuning is basically, if I were just to play across the open strings, it's a C major that has the 9th and the 11th in it. So a pretty rich sound on just the open strings. So this is a tuning that she has used for some other songs, including Woman of Heart and Mind, Coyote, and Don Juan's Reckless Daughter. So one of the first things to understand about her style is it's very much based on shapes. She uses a relatively small library of chord shapes, fingerings that recur across her repertoire, and they generate different sounds depending on the tuning. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just run through the basic shapes for this song. If you look at the complete songbook, if you look at transcriptions, you'll see some differing names for these chords, depending on how you kind of interpret them, and also depending on which note you play on the bottom. But these are the names that kind of make the most sense to me, the way I'll give them to you here. So first of all, we got a C. I'm just fretting the 4th and 3rd strings at the 2nd fret. And then, if I play a bar at the 2nd fret on the top 4 strings, that gives me a C9 sharp 11. Beautiful chord. And then if I were to move that bar up to the 5th fret, not play the 6th string, play the open 5th string in the bass, that's a G minor 9. And one of the things we're going to be doing in this song is raising that, adding the 2nd finger on top of that on the 1st string, just to raise the top note up a half step. That will create this riff that you'll hear in Just Like This Train. And then we can take that same bar and raise it 2 frets. That gives us an A minor 9 at the 7th fret. Now I'm just playing the top 4 strings. And then at the 9th fret, that gives me a B minor 9. And also, so on that A minor 9, I'm also going to be adding on that note 1 fret up on the also on the B minor. I'm going to be adding my middle finger on to raise that top note up as part of the riff, which I'll get to in a minute. That one fingering in 4 places. So here's another shape used. So I'm not playing the 6th string, playing the middle 4 strings open, 1st string at the 3rd fret. That gives me a G7 sus4. Then here's a classic Joni shape. So I'm playing the bottom 3 strings at the 5th fret, and then the 3rd string at the 4th fret. Not playing the top 2 strings right now. That gives me an F major 9, but this is a shape that if you explore a lot of Joni music, you'll see pop up in a lot of songs, creating different sounds again depending on the tuning. So there it's an F major 9. And actually if you take that same shape and you drop it down here, so you're fretting at the 2nd and 1st frets, that's a D9. Can include those top open strings in there. And then just one other shape which is closely related. I'm just holding down the 5th and 4th strings at the 2nd fret and then playing the top 3 strings open, and that is giving me an A minor flat 6, not playing the 6th string on that one. And those are the main shapes that are used in this song. So now let's kind of go through the part just step by step. So we've got this very cool intro in the song, which I played at the top of the lesson, that starts off in that C shape. And then I'm picking those third and fourth strings together and sliding it from the second fret, fourth fret, fifth fret. So open sixth string, that's the opening figure of the intro. And then we've got what she refers to as muted trumpet parts. So it goes, it's that G minor 9 shape, and then adding on that second finger to raise the first string up a half step. And we do that 3 times, moving up the neck. At the 5th fret, at the 7th fret, and at the 9th fret. So I'm picking all those strings individually with my fingers there. If you listen to Chord and Spark, you'll hear a lot of these lines that she's creating on the guitar being doubled, echoed by other instruments in those really lovely kind of arrangements that are on Chord and Spark. So again, intro. And again. And this time, just 5th fret, 7th fret, and then it goes into the verse. The singing comes in right there. During the verse, she does a lot of sliding around of this this double stop here on the 3rd and 4th strings, just like we used it in the intro riff here. We're gonna, during the verse, play that up here at the 9th fret, at the 7th fret, and then in some places up at the 12th fret. Going to be kind of sliding around and then having these open strings kind of ring on top of it in a very free sort of manner. And that's what we use to create a bunch of the accompaniment in the verse. So coming out of that intro, so that was just those notes up at the 9th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, and then down to that C. We go to that C9 sharp 11, to the G7 sus 4, and then there's our F, A minor, and C. And then we have another little riff where I'm going all the way up to the 12th fret on the 3rd and 4th strings. So that's 12, 9, 7. And I'm doing that over the open 5th string as the root. And then we go back to our C9 sharp 11, G, F, section of the verse where back up here on the 12th fret. So that little figure 3 times, 12, 9, 7, sliding back up to 9. And then we go to our F. A little bit of a slap works in this song. She uses a lot of that in her music. And then there's our D9. Back to our little intro phrase again. So I'm going to just run through that whole pattern now. All right, so there's some of the basics of that great song. And one thing about the picking style here, I'm playing with my fingers, but it's a very free sort of a flowing style that she uses, a little bit of string percussion. It's not much a precise type of a finger picking style, exact notes, more as a sort of a rhythmic feel based on shapes and kind of feel of different chord tones kind of ringing together. So once again, if you want to get into the full details of that song, you can download the chart over on Patreon. And please check out the other episodes in this series for lots of other great songs and techniques to try. So I hope you have fun digging into some classic Joni Mitchell. So happy to see her back in action this week. And once again, I'm Jeffrey Pepper Rogers, and thanks for watching.